It really is so hard to meet a man that you really like, and I hear this from a lot of women too.
Women need to start making the first move. If anyone wants to be in a relationship, that's absolutely.
What's up, fellas? Welcome back to Modern Man. Today, we've got a lineup that says everything about where dating is headed. The apps aren't working, men are checking out, and even women are starting to admit it. You've got women telling each other they might have to start making the first move, and that says a lot about how far things have changed. This is the reality. The balance is gone, and everyone's feeling it. Men are tired of one-sided effort, and women are realizing the game they helped build doesn't benefit them anymore. So hit that like button, drop a comment, and let's break down the truth behind why modern dating is collapsing, one clip at a time.
Women need to start making the first move. If anyone wants to be in a relationship, that's absolutely what has to happen. It just has to happen. Guys in the comments, back me up on this. We have told men for years that their masculinity is toxic. Some men, as they got interested in dating, that's literally all they know, is to stay away from women, is to not bother them, and definitely don't approach them. So there is nothing wrong with a woman approaching a man. That shows confidence. And you know what? I don't even know if this stat is true. I didn't do much research into this, but I did see that 86% of women who make the first move end up married. So, I mean, come on, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't even care if that's not even a true statistic. Hell, let's run with that. But guys, back me up in the comments. Say, yeah, you would love that. Or women say, yeah, I made the first move and I'm now engaged, married, whatever. I'm telling you, that's just the way it's got to be. You don't have to like it. I mean, I'm sure guys didn't like when they were being called, when their masculinity, when their whole being was called toxic. They didn't like that. So start making the first move. And again, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like having to make the first move. You could still have a traditional relationship after that. This is just getting you in a damn relationship. And as far as, not liking things, I do things every day that I don't like to do, but it makes me a better person, gets me to my goals. So these are just facts, okay?
It's interesting, but unsurprising to hear women finally saying this. But this is what men have been warning about for years. Men didn't just suddenly stop approaching women. They were conditioned to stop. Society spent years telling them they were weird, creepy, or harassing if they showed any romantic interest. Every headline, every viral video, every social media post sent one message. Men, don't approach unless you're tall enough, rich enough, or perfect enough. And after years of being shamed, rejected, or even accused for doing what used to be completely normal, a simple conversation, most men just said, forget it. Now, they've checked out. They're focused on themselves, on money, on peace, on gym, on purpose. Because the dating market doesn't feel like a place built for them anymore. It feels like a trap. Men used to approach because they believed there was something worth building, a family, a partnership, something real. But the culture changed. Modern dating turned into a game of status, screenshots, and surface-level validation. So now, yeah, women do have to make the first move. Because men have been disillusioned. They've seen what happens when they show genuine interest, and they're done being villains for it. You can't tell men for a decade that they're the problem, then suddenly wonder why they're no longer trying. The truth is, it's not that men don't want love or connection. It's that they no longer feel safe pursuing it.
It really is so hard to meet a man that you really like, and I hear this from a lot of women too. Versus, for example, my brother. I feel like it's very easy for my brother to meet women that he likes, whether it's on the apps or just out at bars. My brother is in the top 5% of men. He's tall, he's attractive, he's athletic, he works in finance, he's funny, he's sweet, good family. Whereas for like a beautiful, well-rounded woman, it's just not that easy. Like there's not many great options of men. Just really seems like there's some disparity of like there being a lot of really great available women, and there's just really not many great available men. I don't know particularly why, but I'm not interested in hearing men in the comments. I will say that right now, because men love to like comment some weird shit every single time.
So I'll hear women say this a lot lately. It's so hard to find good men. But what they're really describing is the byproduct of decades of social conditioning. The truth is, good men exist, but most women can't see them anymore. For years, the dating market has been trained to value the top 10% of men. The ones who are tall, attractive, successful, confident. Basically, the men every woman is competing for. And because of social media, dating apps, and unrealistic standards, every woman now has access to those same few men. That's why her brother, who's tall, good-looking, well-mannered, can find a partner easily. He fits the criteria that society praises. But what about the millions of average men who work hard, treat women well, and would make incredible partners? They're invisible, overlooked, written off before they ever get a chance. So when women say, there just aren't enough good men, what they really mean is, there aren't enough elite men who check every single box. Meanwhile, average men are checking out. They're tired of competing in a system that tells them they're not enough. They've been told to just improve themselves, but when they do, they realize even that isn't enough to stand out anymore. The real disparity isn't between good women and bad men. It's between expectation and reality. Women have been taught to aim higher, and men have been taught that nothing they do will ever be enough. That's why you see this gap. A generation of lonely women and disillusioned men, both wanting connection, but trapped by a culture that pitted them against each other.
60% of men from 18 to 29, it's not even like they want to date anymore. They're single and they're not looking. So we're dealing with a very small pool of men, which means we need to be wise. But I'm sorry, but I don't think any of y'all know how men work. Because the way that I'm hearing you guys talk, it's like two different worlds. From our perspective, it makes a lot of sense. But we have Brian here, we have the cameraman. Men operate on a completely different spectrum when it comes to relationships.
Now, why in the fuck do you think I'm gonna take you on a date when I know for a fact you went over to some bum's house and you let him crack on the first night and he didn't even have to take you on a date? I would be a fucking fool if I took you on a fucking date, sweetheart. Sorry. I mean, you don't deserve that kind of treatment from me. I don't want to take a woman like that on a date. Not at all. Not a fucking chance.
I'm starting to think that, like, just because of how I am, it's just probably not, like, gonna happen. For the most part, I would say I'm not willing to put in any effort to like try and get a girlfriend. And obviously like a girl isn't gonna come to me, right? So I'm kind of at this point where it's just like I've just kind of like accepted that I'm not gonna do anything for sure, and obviously certainly a girl's not. So it's just like nothing's gonna happen. I'm certainly not gonna ever go out of my way to try and like pursue a girl. So if this is where it leaves me, then so be it. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be having the same answer for my family for a long time, if not forever.
But I'm convinced that dating is now prostitution, right? For example, today I asked a girl. No, it wasn't today. This was like about 2-3 days ago. I asked a girl my job. What's her second job? Because she said she was tired because of her second job, and she said, "What, are you gonna help me?" Baby, all I asked was, what's your second job, bitch? You know what I'm saying? So I said, help with what? She said, help with some bills. Knowing me, being a nice guy I am, I said, you funny as shit. But she wasn't joking, gang. She was dead ass serious. And when I got out of there and went home, I'm like, bitch, you talking about something, bitch? You need me help you with bills because of question? Like, what the fuck? Talking about nothing ain't free. Like, gang, this shit is insane, bro. No cap.
There are so many single Christian girls in the church. And when I mean the church, like the body of Christ and the physical church. Like, I look around at church even sometimes, I'm like, all of these girls are single that I know. All of them. And they're good girls, good hearts, love Jesus. They need to be wifed up. And they're looking for a husband. but we're all single. All of us are single. What? Like, where are the men of God? Like, sometimes on social media, I'm scrolling and I, like, men of God. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Good for you. But where are you in real life? like, if you like a girl in church or anywhere, go approach her and talk to her. You don't have to ask her out. Like, for example, if you're at church, you don't have to ask her out. You could just be friends first. But, like, I don't know if it's just, like, some people are just maybe scared to approach. And I know society has made that weird. Maybe there is a shortage of godly men. Who knows? But, like, y'all need to step it up. Because, and I'm talking to the men, because it's he who finds a good wife. We're not supposed to be the ones, like, searching and looking and, like, no. You're supposed to be the ones taking charge, looking, finding a wife that God calls a good thing. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So if you want to find your good thing, it's not going to come by just staring at her. She's not going to gravitate towards you. You have to go up to her and talk to her. Especially in church, because when you're in public, you obviously don't know if somebody's a Christian and you approach them and then, it's a different scenario. But in church, you have a more better option, or like in a Christian setting.
And unfortunately, this stuff extends into your local church also. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're involved in Western society, the dating culture has shifted. Even inside the church, men have become hesitant, quiet, and guarded. It's not because they don't love God or don't want a family. It's because they've watched what happens when men show interest, even in Christian spaces. Too often, they're met with judgment, gossip, or rejection wrapped in discernment. The same cultural attitudes that told men to stay in their lane, to never risk being called creepy, to never approach unless they're perfect, that same fear has crept into the pews. So now you have hundreds of women saying, "Where are all the godly men?" And you have good men sitting right there in the same sanctuary, watching, listening, but staying silent, because they've been conditioned to believe that pursuing a woman, even with the right intentions, will be seen as wrong. The church used to be a place where families were formed, where community meant connection, and where marriage was encouraged. Now, for many, it's become another arena of hesitation. Everyone's guarded. Everyone's cautious. The men don't pursue, and the women don't signal. And both sides end up wondering why nothing ever happens. The truth is, it's not that there's a shortage of good Christian men. It's that there's a shortage of trust between men and women. And until we rebuild that trust, the church will keep mirroring the world, full of people praying for marriage, but too afraid to take the first step toward it.
This is for the women out there that are still dating. If you're still dating, I'm guessing you're really struggling because like every conceivable obstacle that could be in the way is in the way. So try using this advice to just make your life easier and just skip ahead in the dating world. My qualifications are I know what women want. Women want a hot, nice guy. One of the easiest ways to get ahead these days is to just deep dive with the guy that you're interested in. Because most men are at the point that they're not even expecting this anymore. Most guys are now defaulting to a position of apathy because tons of women these days, they don't really do anything. They're permanently standoffish. They never really engage. They don't really care. And like, they don't do anything. They're just kind of there. Men will always talk about like, oh, they're looking for like someone to cook and clean. That's neither here nor there. That barely matters. Men are looking for somebody to connect with. They're looking for a companion. They're looking for a friend. They're looking for somebody to share their life with. They're looking for somebody to bond with. All of that stuff is in extremely short supply these days. When you date somebody, like realistically what you get is, oh yeah, we text each other, but not really. We spend time together, but not really. We go on dates together, but not really. We have sex, but not really. Almost nothing matters. Everything amounts to a waste of time. And, you know, men are done. Men don't want that crap. And women don't want it either. Abandon all first date questions. Don't ask him about his Netflix preferences. Don't ask him how many brothers and sisters he has. Don't ask him about his job. He's heard those questions a million times already. He knows what's coming after that. It's just going to be ghosted in 24 hours. Ask him. Figure out what's going on upstairs. Who are you exactly? What do you care about? What do you dream about? What's your future going to be like? What interests you? What's really going on upstairs? That is what matters. That's the only thing that matters. What's the quality of your character? Do you have emotional maturity? Things like that. This is what you need to explore. You really need to deep dive with the guy. I guarantee no one is going to have done it in a while. He's going to be at the point where he's not even going to be expecting this. Don't be judgmental and don't expect certain answers. Make sure he's being unapologetically himself. He needs to be. And you need to be as well. The dating world is like chock full of people that are faking everything at all times. The truth is, with the dating apps, the people that succeed on dating apps are good at making profiles, and that's it. They're good at pretending to be something that they're not. They're good at pretending to be more interesting than they actually are. There were times that I went on dates with women, and the women that I got were black and white different people from what I was seeing on those profiles. Be yourself. All this stuff is so straightforward and obvious, and yet this is a testament to what dating has become. Most people do not provide these things at all anymore. Most people are just aimlessly texting each other. Maybe you go on a few dates. It amounts to a meaningless talking phase. That's about it. The next part, men approaching you. Most women are struggling here because most men are under the impression that they're literally not allowed to approach you in general. This is really hard to control, but a smile goes a long way. An inquisitive look goes a long way. Admittedly, there's guys that you can like smile at all day and they're still just gonna like stand there inertly. Don't even worry about it. Like if they're just seriously gonna stand there, don't worry about it. More men than you think will actually respond to your cues. Try to hold, an inquisitive eye for a few seconds. And this worked on me. One time, a girl gave me inquisitive eyes for about 3 or 4 seconds straight, and she tilted her head as she did it. And it was like an unmistakable inquisitiveness. And, sure enough, I went up to her and talked to her, and she was, indeed happy that I was talking to her. And, she kind of did this. It was like, I didn't really do that very well, but it was kind of like that. And a big part of getting a guy to talk to you these days is having a welcoming aura. You just kind of give him a pleasant smile. It doesn't have to be a giant grin, just a simple that actually goes a long way these days because there's a lot of extremely hostile, angry women out there. And it's obviously those women are not going to be smiling. They're not going to come off as cheery and pleasant. Men now thinking that they can't approach women can largely just fill in the gaps themselves by just getting the momentum going themselves. The way that I think about it is just kind of put the ball in his court, just initiate some level of conversation. And if he likes you, he'll start talking. You would be surprised how easy it is to talk to men. I think it's harder to talk to women than it is to talk to men. Men will just casually talk to you like it's nothing. Men will happily talk to you. If he's weird or doesn't have social skills or just doesn't know how to respond, forget it. But, most men are gonna enthusiastically happily talk to you. And a random compliment is a really easy way to go. A random comment, it doesn't even have to be anything significant at all. It could be anything on your mind. Just walk up to the guy, start saying the first thing on your mind. Realistically, as a man, he's not going to care. He's just going to be like, oh, wow, this woman's talking to me. I wonder what's all this about? If you engage, and obviously he has to be interested, but if you engage, he's going to engage back.
That's all we've got for today. It's a sad state our world is in right now. Millions of men and women are quietly suffering under this new dating culture. The apps, the games, the fear, the endless comparison. What used to be simple, two people meeting, connecting, building something real, has turned into a competition, a performance, a cycle of disappointment. But maybe talking about it is the first step toward fixing it. Maybe if enough people start seeing through the lies, we can bring back honesty, respect, and real connection. Until then, protect your peace, stay grounded, and keep your standards. But don't lose your heart. If this resonated with you, hit like, drop your thoughts below, and make sure to follow for more truth like this.